was she involved in the discussions? And do Michael Cohen's search warrants, they corroborate each other? Bring a liar back into court, and this is after he's already been accused of lying again not long ago when he was the star witness in the Letitia James prosecution, which resulted in nearly $500 million in order against Donald Trump. So who is Michael Cohen? We know a lot about him. We've seen him around here before. He is former Trump attorney. He is somebody who in February of 2018 said to the New York Times that this payment to Stormy was used from his personal money, right? We're going to go through that article here in a minute. So we're going to recap basically why this should never have been brought, why this witness is terrible, why Alvin Bragg is manufacturing a prosecution, why it's not legitimate. So this is Cohen. In 2018, he said he used his personal money. We're going to recap that story. He also then, suddenly, something weird happened. In February and in January, Stormy supported him. And Stormy said, yeah, no, I didn't have anything to do with Trump, no affair with him.
Hey, Grego.
Okay, August 2018, he flips.
We're on the way home. Hour and 40 minutes away.
Trump's the president, but, still the DOJ. They are who they are, and they were the ones going after Trump the entire time he was president. So then he pleads guilty to tax fraud, bank fraud, campaign finance violations, and he totally flips. He says, yeah, I did manipulate these monies, and I did it on behalf of a campaign, of a person running for president, or a person in a political campaign. Okay, then he turns around and pleads guilty again. Now, this is a curious one. 2018, we have to go all the way back to this. He was pleaded guilty to lying to Congress for this Trump Moscow.
Yeah, homeward bound. I'm trying to make it home in time for date night with the wife.
Well. So this guy's got 2 guilty pleas, and one of them is for lying to Congress. I have a little bit of a clip on that one as well. He was sentenced to 3 years prison. I don't know how much time he did on that exactly. February 2019, he was disbarred in New York. He was Letitia James's star witness, literally, like the case that could have happened without him. And now he's Bragg's star witness. And we'll recall that he was alleged by a federal judge. Okay, a federal judge came out and said he lied again in court from his testimony, and he's still going to be brought out to testify. It's insane. So who is Michael Cohen? And we go all the way back to this original statement. What happened in February 2018? And this, I think, should eliminate this case. If you have a reasonable prosecutor, right, they would say, okay, obviously this is not going anywhere. Cohen comes out February 13th. Maggie Haberman, you've heard her name. February 2018, Michael Cohen comes out, New York Times, he says, Cohen's lawyer says he paid Stormy Daniels out of his own pocket. Trump's longtime personal lawyer, years ago, said on Tuesday, yeah, he paid the $130 grand out of his own pocket to Stormy, who once had claimed to have an affair with Trump. Now, in the most detailed explanation of the payment yet, Cohen, who worked as counsel for Trump for more than a decade, said he was not reimbursed by Trump, not reimbursed by the campaign. Neither the Trump board nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed me for the payment, either directly or indirectly. Now you'll say, okay, well, what are the checks for? Well, it's Cohen. He's doing a bunch of stuff, right? He's doing a bunch of stuff for Trump, handling a bunch of stuff. So Trump is just dumping money to him. Now, Cohen said in a statement to the Times, now the payment to Ms. Clifford, this is Cohen speaking, the payment to Ms. Clifford was lawful, and he's Trump's lawyer, and was not a campaign contribution or a campaign expenditure by anyone. Now, he declined to answer several follow-up questions, including whether Trump had been aware that Cohen made the payment, why he made the payment, whether he made similar payments to other people, and so on. But that's his statement, right? So then suddenly he has to reverse himself. So that's 2018. We know just a bit later, he ultimately then is now pleading guilty. Okay, so the DOJ gets a hold of him. They say, oh, no, buddy, we're going after Trump. So they start indicting him. So they say, oh, okay, so if Trump's not guilty, guess what? You're guilty. And the DOJ is corrupt, so let's be fair to Michael Cohen here. He is getting hatchet jobbed by the DOJ. They're charging him with all these crimes. oh, you're going to protect Trump? How about this? How about we prosecute you? And then, this happens all the time in America, if you comply with us, if you agree to this plea deal, guess what we'll do? We will not send you to prison for the rest of your life, right? You can go to prison for 3 years and agree to these charges and agree to help us against Trump, or you're looking at 20 years, dude. Wait a minute. So you're saying you want 34 felonies that are campaign finance violations for every one of those bills, right? They hit him with every bop, 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 bop. You better do this or else. He goes, are you kidding me? Yes, sir. No, sir. You tell me what to say. And so he takes the plea deal, right? This is the back room. This is happening all behind closed doors. Boom, Michael Cohen comes out. He says, holy crap, I didn't want to go to prison for 150 years. He says, no problem. I'll take a plea deal. I'll say whatever the hell you want. Michael Cohen pleads guilty, Manhattan federal court, to 8 counts, including criminal tax evasion. All of this was for unreported income, blah, blah, blah. It's the Stormy Daniels and Karen McCormick money. We'll get the story in a minute. So he flips, right? He flips immediately. So then, now, we fast forward a little bit further. Now, we're going to have to fill in the gaps on this a bit because this goes all the way back. So this was a plea deal that came after the fact in 2018. November 29, and this is the one that he is lying to Congress. Okay, this is the perjury charge we reference. He's false testimony to Congress. And you might be thinking that the false testimony that he gave to Congress was to be adverse to Trump, right? Like he is harming Trump. He goes to Congress, he lies about Trump. No, they're mad that he didn't implicate Trump enough. And so they charged him with the crime for not hitting Trump hard enough, and then he pled guilty to that. So what am I talking about? Well, here is from his plea documents. Here is what they're charging. They say, on or about August 28th, so again, before Cohen flips, so back before 2018. 2018, he's still saying, I took care of all this. In August 2017, before that, Cohen, this is the charge, he caused a 2-page letter to be sent on his behalf to the Select Senate Committee Intelligence, to the House, and to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, right, the 2 intelligence groups. So the letter addressed his efforts at the company by Cohen to pursue a branded property in Moscow. So Cohen says, hey, I've got some information on Moscow. Remember, Trump wins in January, he takes office 2017. Democrats are crying foul about Russia because they're just whacked out. They made up the whole Russian scandal, right? So they're searching Trump, Russia, everything. So Cohen sends a letter into the select committee saying, okay, here's what I know about Russia. Cohen stated for the purpose of the letter that it was to provide the committee with additional information regarding the proposal and referring to the Moscow project, right? This is the Trump Tower in Moscow. Now, in the letter to the select committees, Cohen knowingly and deliberately made the false representations. Now, they hit you with nonsense. Because Cohen wrote in the letter, they said, well, what's going on with Trump, Russia? So he sends a letter in 2017. He's still on Team Trump. He says, well, the project ended in January 2016, and it was not discussed extensively with others in the company. So Cohen says, like, Trump, Russia wasn't even that big of a deal. He sends a letter. Cohen told us in Congress, they said, Cohen never agreed to travel to Russia in connection with the Moscow project and never considered, and he told us this, that he never considered talking to individual one, which is probably Trump, for the project, right? So Cohen wrote, I primarily communicate with Moscow-based development company. So Cohen puts this in there. And then 3,
hey, Gregory.
Cohen did not recall any government response to or contact about Moscow. So Cohen says, I don't remember anything about that. And they say, you're a liar, Michael. And they charge him through, right? They charge him with this. And they say the proposal was discussed extensively.
Fucking wind is blowing hard,
Michael. So Trump and Trump org work there with Russia all over the place. And it's like legitimate business stuff. But they're like, that's what you get for telling us something. And so they hit Cohen with new crimes because he didn't come down on Trump enough. And he just pleads guilty to it. So apparently there was government response from Russia at some point. Cohen wasn't clear enough. Boom, crime. So it's like, don't talk to the government or the feds or anybody, because everything you say, they'll twist into a pretzel. So, you might have a little bit of empathy for Cohen. Not really, I guess. I retract that. But this is a position that the DOJ can cause anybody to be in, and you get very curious about how you react in a situation like this. The DOJ comes to you and they say, you're going to go to prison for 50 years and probably get it. Look at the J6ers, okay? What do you do? Michael Cohen just says, okay, I guess I'm just going to buckle like crazy, and I got to go hit Trump harder. So the letter that he sent to them was now criminalized. He takes a plea deal, and it is, considered perjury. So now he's lying in reverse, right? So now he just flips, and now everything he's saying is adverse to Trump, even though it wasn't before these charges came. So it's pretty disgusting. So then in 2019, right after he takes these plea deals, now watch what he comes out and says. Quick 30-second clip from Cohen. This is in 2019, February. Suddenly he's flipped. Now he says, oh, Trump knew everything about Russia.
You need to know that Mr. Trump's personal lawyers reviewed and edited my statement to Congress about the timing of the Moscow Tower negotiations. To be clear, Mr. Trump knew of and directed the Trump-Moscow negotiations throughout the campaign.
Lane closed, dumbass.
And lied about it. He lied about
Person
it
over there to the
because
left.
he never expected.
Stopped in front of a barrier.
All right, so they brought him back out. That was 2019, and he tried to deliver his, Trump rah-rah speech. Now, Michael Cohen, the reason why I said you might have some empathy for the guy is because he's probably not that bright, first of all. And number two, the DOJ is corrupt, like through and through, against everybody, right? So it's Cohen, doesn't really matter. They just go after whoever they need to make a point. And in this case, the DOJ was going after, on behalf of the Democrats, somebody who was not hitting Trump enough until they could corroborate him to get him to flip and go, anti-Trump, then he did. Now, his whole life has now become about living this lie, which is up to him, right? He doesn't have to have a podcast every day, ranting through his screen at everybody. But he also lied again, right? He keeps lying. He lies repeatedly. And even when he's lying under oath to Congress, he lies again about this. Like, when you plead guilty, you can't plead guilty to something you didn't do, right? This is the problem. And here's the situation now, right? It reverses all the way back to Cohen. Like, Cohen keeps burying himself. So let's break this down. This is from Michael Cohen's plea proceeding. This is from the case that he pleaded guilty in. And this was an excerpt that we talked about previously on this channel, where he's asking for his probation to be terminated. But we bring it up whether he lied in prior proceedings. So Cohen was brought in Letitia James's prosecution as the star witness in her case. And the question comes up about his guilty plea and about lying to Congress. And here's what the exchange sounded like. This was in his own criminal case where he's trying to terminate probation early. Judge Jesse Furman is a federal judge. And here's what he said about Cohen. He said, first of all, it seems that Cohen did not plead guilty, according to him, to tax evasion, right? So that first set of charges that Cohen says he pleaded guilty to, Cohen has said, I didn't do those things, right? So, okay, but you went into a judge, he said, under oath, did you? And it's a long process to take a guilty plea. You don't walk in and say, judge says, hey, Michael, you guilty? He's like, yeah, I think so. And then they just call it a day. Okay, it's a long process. Is this your signature? Look at it. Is this yours? Did your attorney explain this to you? Anybody promise you anything? Right? Are you awake right now? Like, are you under drugs and influence? Anybody promise you anything not contained in this document? All the things. And you did this, right? And there's a factual basis for this. And all this stuff happened. Is that true? Yes. Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney? Yes. Okay, great. Because the last thing you want is a defendant to say, that's not true. I didn't do any of that. Where'd that come from? So they go through it in depth. Now, so the question was, because he came out in the Letitia James trial, and he said, I am not guilty of tax why'd you take a guilty plea? And the answer is probably because the DOJ was threatening him with 50 years in prison, right? Because they needed him to fled, and he can't say that. So he's really kind of stuck. Right now he has to say, I had to lie about Trump because the DOJ was pressuring me, right? He can't admit that now. So now he's caught in a lie because the origin is a lie about Trump. So he says, but I'm not guilty of tax evasion. Why'd you plead guilty? He said, well, I lied to Judge Pauly. Here's the exchange. Question to Michael Cohen, he's on the stand. Alina Abba, I believe, is doing the questioning. Says, hey, Cohen, did you lie to Judge Pauly when you said that you were guilty of counts that you said under oath that you were guilty of? Did you lie to Judge Pauly? Michael Cohen says, yes, I did. But you earlier testified that you omitted, and we move forward in the transcript, but you earlier testified that you omitted that you didn't evade taxes. Isn't that right? Didn't evade taxes? I did say that. Right, okay, so you lied when you said that you evaded taxes to a judge under oath, because you have to do that in order to take a guilty plea. So is it your honor about this date, this location, you, Michael Cohen, and blah, blah, all elements of evading taxes, right? You agree with that? Yes, I do. It's in writing. So is that correct? Yes, that's correct. I lied to a judge. And in response to those questions from Judge Pauly, you lied to him, right? That's the question. Michael Cohen says that's true, all from the transcripts. This is a federal judge citing this, saying, so that's 3 confirmations that Michael Cohen lied. And he's caught in it. So, sir, back during the testimony, so, sir, Cohen, turns out you lied at the time. You lied more than once in federal.
Drinks and beans.
Correct?
Man, it's fucking...
When the stakes affected you,
I'm getting blown all over the road.
You lied, right? Correct. And you misled a federal judge. Michael Cohen says, yes, I did. Right? Because he has to do all this stuff. He's like, I didn't do tax evasion. So, well, I have to say that I did. Because they are making me. And if I don't, I'm going to go to prison for a long time. I'm sure they'll complain me. So they use him to manufacture something that is to their ends, right? That's what they do. So then he flips. Now here's what the judge says, wrapping this up, says, the testimony from...
I want to make it home in time for date night.
Now that was in Letitia's
but I am being careful.
Just to put the emphasis on this. He took the stand...
Like Ivar sleeping in the back.
And came out and said he lied to a federal judge under oath in another proceeding, and then admitted on said he was credible. The judge in that case said he pleaded guilty before Judge Pauly in the original sentencing, or the original change of plea, lied, right, committed a crime. Or 2, Cohen committed perjury in his October 2023 testimony. Now, either way, it is perverse to cite the testimony as Schwartz did as he is somehow committed to upholding the law, right? The guy's breaking the law again. And it's probably because the DOJ is forwarding. He's there personally. We need you to go say all of this stuff. And he's can't keep his lifestyle. So, what has Alvin Bragg done about this? What has the DA in Manhattan done? Of course, the chief law enforcement person for that county. What are they doing? Are they prosecuting him? No. Instead, they went and got Alan Weisselberg, Trump's CFO, also charged with perjury for something that's not even consequential. But they let his perjury escape, and he just committed it in anger on around the court. So, Bragg, rather than investigating this, prosecute someone else, so both sides now have a perjurer. So when Trump calls Weisselberg, they're going to say, oh, you're a perjurer. And we're going to say, well, you got a perjurer. Well, I guess it's even Stevens, so get rid of both. And that's an attack, right, to take out Weisselberg. And Bragg is going to put this guy on the stand because he's the key witness. He's the keystone of who connects all the dots on the payments. So that's Michael Cohen, key witness to the Bragg prosecution. Stormy Daniels, another critical witness for Alvin Bragg. She has a serious background, as we can see here. 17 years old. And what we're going learning about her really kind of seeking the public limelight. Being very enamored, I believe, by the limelight and publicity. Starts at 17, kind of shoots to prominence, and then needs to make a change, tries to shift into politics before Trump even ever comes on the scene. Runs for office, actually. And then suddenly, when she's fading into irrelevance, decides that she's going to bring up this new scandal right in the beginning of 2016. So we'll go down that journey to the opening. So she began taking her clothes off for money. When she was 17, went and had a lot of success, okay? Had a lot of success in this. Now, look at all these different sort of appearances that she had that are notable, I guess. She was in this film. We'll leave the title out of all these. 2004, 2017, she played a role in that. She appeared on Maroon 5's music video. Steve Carell is watching her. She's also in another film model in another series.
Remind me next time I have Streamlabs open, we'll add your channel link to that.
So, that's her background. Now, what you see, right, is somebody who's kind of constantly front and center in the media.
I never remember.
And she likes it there. In fact, in 2008, she was really kind of getting involved in politics. This is curious. So this was from the Press Club in Washington, National Press Club. And this was from an event they were talking about protecting children online, restricted to adults. And in 2008, the internet's getting a little carried away there. Stormy Daniels is churning out content. I don't want the youth of America to see that. But you can see, right? Speaking out, seeking that public attention, trying to get involved in political issues. And what did that lead to? She actually ran for office. Here's a story. It's over from the Times-Picayune. Chris Rose wrote this. You can see this one's back in 2009. I wasn't even thinking about Trump. She says, a po' boy shop serves up Stormy for lunch. You're not going to want to eat there, okay? Just avoid. 1 star. Not good. Now, the sign on the door to Sergio's said, storm warning at noon. It was the official notice that business would not be quite as usual. And that's because Stormy Daniels was on a listening tour in 2009. Her words, not mine. She's running around listening to everybody. How can I help you? Now, Daniels is not your run-of-the-mill politician. She's no mouthpiece in a suit. No, she's on the adult business. But don't take Stormy for a dumb blonde. Draft Stormy points out that she can not only perform in her films, but she also writes her films. Wow, really complex storylines in there, I'm sure. And she directs them too. Complicated. She was also, it should be noted, the president of her 4-H club in high school in Baton Rouge. So elect me to Congress. Well, she's as good as any other in Congress, I guess. So, right, that's the point, right? Constantly seeking to be somebody, right? I'm not just, a film star, disgusting pervert, whatever, degenerate, whatever you call her. She is something bigger than this. Now, she gets involved in Donald Trump, okay? No one knows who she is, totally irrelevant. Suddenly, she's involved in this Trump affair. Everyone's asking questions. She ultimately releases this story. The allegations, so fast forward, they say that they had an affair. She says one time, whatever, and she lives in, you know the story. But then she came out January 30th, 2018. She actually published this, and my understanding is she did this with Michael Cohen. And this is legitimate, right? She actually signed this. The AP confirms that for us here on the next slide. January 30th, here's what she says, right, about Donald Trump. So all that background, she comes out, there's a settlement, they float this around, hey, there's this
JC.
relationship, blah, blah, blah. Now, January, just before Michael Cohen comes out and also says that he made the payments with his personal money before that happened, Stormy releases this. Over the past few weeks, I've been asked many countless times to comment on reports of an alleged relationship I had with Trump many years ago. The fact of the matter is that each party to this alleged affair denied its existence in 2006. Hello? 2011, 2016, 2017, and now again in 2018. All good points. I am not denying this affair because I was paid, quote, hush money, as has been reported overseas in the tabloids. I'm denying this affair because it never happened. Thanks. I will have no further comment on this matter. Yeah, right. Gee, his documentaries this year. Please feel free to check me out on Instagram at Stormy Daniels. Don't do it. Thank you, the Stormy Daniels. Okay. So that's from her. Now,
it was fine. It fucking rained. Everybody loving on Ivar out there, but
Trump posted this one. Hey, look what I found. They can report on this.
it would have been quicker if they hadn't have already tried to set the computer up. But the new therapist actually had all her personal logins on it, so I was like, nope, we're not doing that. So I had to do a factory reset before I could start setting it up.
Released on January 30th. That's true. That is accurate. Not long after, Daniels recanted the statement and said that the affair did occur. She said her denials were due to the non-disclosure agreement, and because the parties involved made it sound like I had no choice but to make them. Okay. Now, the facts, a grand jury, of course, indicted Trump nonetheless. And so between that statement, between Michael Cohen's statement, between even the facts of Stormy's statement themselves, right? 2006, she was repeatedly denying it. All of a sudden, something changes. What is it? Opportunity. We know. And Stormy has been somebody who's still been, largely living that lifestyle up until relatively recently. Remember this, when Stormy got arrested? This story was also pretty wild. Now, this was something she posted in 2018. It says, I'll be going on stage tonight at Sirens in Columbus to perform for my fans and register voters as planned. Right? Going out there to get involved. And she's gonna, get people energized, I guess. Can't stop the storm. And then she puts that emoji up there for some reason. It says, storm the vote, Team Stormy, Basta, fearless. Right now it's the same hashtag that Michael Avenatti was displaying all over the place. So remember, Stormy Daniels was arrested. Now, what ended up happening is pretty interesting. And the officers who were involved actually got reprimanded. Stormy Daniels got paid about $450 grand, give or take, depending on the settlement. And it was an interesting thing. But here's the background. It's just a wild read. Here is what the Washington Post reported on Stormy Daniels' arrest. They said prosecutors have ultimately dismissed the charges against her because she was accused of fondling patrons. This is in 2018. Police had charged Daniels, whose real name is Clifford, with 3 misdemeanors because of touching at a sexually oriented business in violation of Ohio law. Locations like this, they may have too much of a good time. Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, said on Thursday morning that there was a sting operation that had been set up. But Thursday afternoon, Stormy came out and announced that there were not going to be any charges. Here's her mugshot. According to a police report, they have this group called Vice Officers, okay, which was later disbanded. So a bunch of Vice Officers. Wonder what those guys are. Hey, you want to go on patrol tonight? Yeah, let's go on patrol. Yeah, grab the boys. Let's go down to the strip club. We're part of the Vice Squad. Sure, have a good time. During Daniel's 11:30 performance, the report states people in the audience began throwing dollar bills at Daniels. She allegedly began forcing the faces of patrons into her chest and using her bare angerons to smack the patrons right in the face She was accused of fondling the breasts of women in the audience as well. Now, 2 police detectives and an officer in the club noticed what Daniels was doing, and they approached the stage like, oh, that looks fun. Daniels leaned over, grabbed the detective's head, and began smacking her face with her bare breasts, baby. Just walloping her in the face. That detective right in the face, like, no, this is illegal. Stop. She allegedly performed the same acts on a male detective and a 3rd officer, too. He's like, that's illegal. Those guys are like, that's illegal. Let me go see if you're going to break the law for me, too. They're like, here, illegal me. Here, break the law for me, too. I'm like, no, stop. No, this is so bad. And she's just having a great time. And then they began fondling that officer's buttocks and breasts as well. Oh my gosh, it's just a scene over there, isn't it? Golly, Stormy's just popping everybody off, just swinging them around like helicopters. Now, another police detective who was standing near the bar saw it all happen. He's like, according to the police report, that detective then left the club. He's like, okay, I gotta calm this thing down. Okay, I got 3 officers who are all arresting, engaging with Stormy. Someone help. She's got them all under her control. And so they all came in, they arrested the cops. Now, Daniel said on Thursday that she was saddened to hear that the charges for the others had not been dismissed. And what ended up happening is she sued him. So what happened was there was a sting operation, but they let it go. And Stormy's case was dismissed because the law was for local dancers. Apparently it didn't apply to outside dancers. And so they ultimately dismissed the case against her, and she sued him. And she won a bunch of money. And so it's just a wild story, man. It's like, you can't make it up. But so she ends up suing him. CNN reported. Settlement came after a year after that, and got a $450,000 settlement from, I think, the city. All charges were dropped just 12 hours later. The state's no-touching law did not apply to Daniels. She was not a regular performer. The law states that any employee prohibited from touching patrons, I guess, except for their family members, which is weird. So why would your brother be there? Chief Tom made this decision because these officers... Now, so those officers also got reprimanded, by the way. So those officers violated the rules of conduct, okay? Police rules say you can't get motorboated at a strip club, okay? It's not allowed, it's not found, it's not normally not allowed, I don't think. Police said in a news release, they didn't specify the violations. It's that Section B. Don't get motorboated. Subsection W. Disbanded vice section. Okay, we don't need a vice section, so a bunch of officer bros can go.
Edsy, you can be a Viking too. Join the next raid.
We're investigating crimes here. Yeah,
we need some coffee brand coffee.
Make it fast before I arrest you. So that's Stormy. Now it's wild. Now it's a good thing she got some of that money because she owes a lot of it to Trump. A lot of it. And here is some more background. So she also sued Trump for defamation, and Michael Avenatti, who we'll talk about in a minute. Michael Avenatti was one of her lawyers. She actually had several lawyers. But Stormy sued Trump, lost multiple times. Attack with Roberta Kaplan. And here's the story from CNN. They reported that Stormy was ordered to pay Trump now, right? A bunch of money. $120,000. That's in addition to another $500,000. Okay, so that's $450,000 she got after she was fondling police. All right, so $500,000. Oh my gosh. So she's got to give that over to Trump, and another $120,000 in legal fees as well. The U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals sided with Trump. This was a big hit to her, and the reason this I think is important is because this shows absolute bias towards Trump, right? This woman owes Trump...
I miss reading Hagar. I haven't read a real newspaper for a very long time.
500 grand right here, plus the 120. That's a lot, right? And she is not going to want to pay that to him. In fact, she has said this: I will go to jail before I even pay a single penny. Okay, I will go to jail before I pay a penny. So what does that mean in terms of incentives? Does she have an incentive to stop Trump? Yeah, of course she does. Does she have an incentive to see him have to pay if he goes to jail, right? Because he's in prison for the next 50 years or whatever. So we have a very biased person. Also, this is someone who is apparently violating a court order openly on X. Sorry, Stormy. Judge said you have to. So she says no. So she's openly, willfully violating a court order. So between Bragg's two witnesses, they don't have someone who is honest or abides by court orders, like telling the truth under oath or abiding by your payment obligations. Either one of them. They're star witnesses. And so that is Stormy. Now, Stormy, in order to make some of that money back, has a documentary out. And this is on the Peacock Network. It was released in 2024. This documentary was also released just about a week before the original scheduled trial date. It was originally scheduled for March 25th.
Yeah, I'm a bit more. I'm getting nice and dry inside, but my car's awfully moist.
She tried to time it. And my question is, what other evidence went into this? This is a whole story about the Trump saga that we've seen from the trailer here.
Windy as hell, too.
So who are the producers? Who are the script writers? Who wrote a note that said, or an email, or who was there during a brainstorming session or during filming that said, oh, do that again to make me angry this time? Is there anything else that he did that he could say that was irrelevant? She says, yeah, this. Okay, so you were prompted about that, and you're that's maybe not true because somebody's you maybe embellished that, and other people were there. Who's your creative director? What's he have to say about it? Like, what is this fictional story that you created, and how did you create it? Is Trump allowed to see any of that? No, of course not. Here's the background on this film. She says it's an American documentary produced by somebody called Sarah Gibson. Follows Stormy as she navigates being a mother, an artist, an advocate, working hard to reinvent herself as a hunter. She should go talk to Hunter. It had its world premiere on March 8th and was released on March 18th, just a week before the trial was set. Weird. Stormy Daniels navigates being a mother, and look at this, working hard to reinvent herself after the Trump-Stormy Daniels scandal. And they met while working on a project. I'm sure it's just terrible. Aaron Lee Carr is a producer, Judd Apatow, executive producer. So now that's Stormy. So she's got a lot of incentive to exaggerate the story to get more money to pay Trump back, and to get more people to watch her film to get more money. So it's all lacking in credibility, right? Her bias is just unbelievable. And she also, by the way, the reason I brought up her arrest is that she blames Trump. She says that she was targeted, and that Trump reached out and tried to target her. So she also got a vendetta in addition to that. And they did an investigation locally at that police department, determined it was not political, but certainly it was inappropriate. So can Trump see any of this discovery? Can he peer inside and see what's actually going on? He has asked NBC and Judge Perron for a subpoena. They have denied it. Remember this one. This was a decision in order on NBC's motion to quash the subpoena. And Perron said, nope, sorry, Trump, no access. NBC's motion to quash is granted. He scheduled that, signed that one right before the trial is starting on April 5th. So Trump can't see what went into that and how Stormy is monetizing this entire process, just like the judge's daughter is. Michael Avenatti, you know
guy's a
him.
fucking
He is in
moron
prison.
next to me
Whether
here in
we
this
see
car,
him
this red
in
car.
the trial or not is yet to be seen. Time will tell. But you remember him. He was a lawyer to Stormy Daniels in 2016. A lot of this.
Hey!
He sued to invalidate NDA with Trump.
Yes, he won.
Sued Trump for defamation. Miss Stormy lost that one.
Got that pillaging.
Trump money.
Belly full of meat.
Currently serving 19 years. And I didn't realize it was so long. I thought it was actually less time than that.
Better, bro.
19 years, I think, starting in 2022, give or take. He'll be out less time than that, obviously, but extortion with Nike for millions. embezzlement from clients, and apparently even stole from Stormy Daniels in a book deal, $200,000 too. So take that for what it's worth in terms of his credibility. But he knows Stormy well, and he called in and talked about the drag prosecution being the wrong case at the wrong time, and here was just a quick segment from that.
One of the big things that I learned, unfortunately, is that what I had been sold by Ms. Daniels relating to how this payment had came about and what I had subsequently advocated on television and others in reliance on what she had told me turned out to be completely false. It had been represented to me that she had not attempted to extort Donald Trump and the campaign in the waning days of 2016, that they had come to her. And I believed her when she told me that repeatedly. Unfortunately, in early 2019, I came to learn that that was not true.
Does it matter to the legal case who initiated it if, as you said earlier tonight, Donald Trump still lied about it and potentially lied to the government about it?
I don't think from a legal perspective it matters, but I think very well from an optics standpoint it could matter. And again, I believe he'll be convicted of the case, but I don't think it's going to move the needle to the degree that some people believe that it will. I think
we'll see about that. They're going to try to shift this from the hush money case into an election interference case, as we'll talk about in our next segment. But that is Michael Avenatti calling into the show for an update, and the jury is about to be selected, and we're going to be covering that here. So starting on Monday, April 15th, we're expecting 18 total jurors who will be selected, and it may take a while to get there because of the complexities of this case. Remember, there were about 42 different jury questions that the judge was asking about. Are you a member of the Proud Boys? Do you watch Fox News? Do you like True Social? What's your story? Right? All those questions. And so my understanding is that we are going to have 12 jurors for sure who will be the final jurors on the panel, and we will have up to 6 alternates who will be there in case something happens. And so we'll have a full panel when the trial starts, and we'll see how it unfolds here together. And so we are now much more up to speed on the bragg prosecution, and we'll be here when this thing kicks off on Monday. Security seemingly is ready to go as well, and they have shared this with us that the U.S. New York PD, U.S. Secret Service, New York Unified Court System, all are ready to go. Secret Service, Police Department, Unified Court System are working together to ensure the utmost level of safety during Trump's criminal proceeding in New York. Secret Service is prepared. We're going to carry out our protective mission. Now, they say while operational security precludes us from going into specifics, Secret Service will not seek any special accommodation outside what will be required to ensure the continued safety of the former president. We have the utmost trust and confidence in our law enforcement. We're ready to go. Police Commissioner says we're ready to go. Long-standing relationships, no problem. And Chief Department of the Unified Court System says we've been coordinating with everybody, so everything will move smoothly. And we'll see. So Trump is expected to be there, and he'll probably be bogged down there, absent some excusal from the court for the remainder of the trial, which is exactly what the Democrats want. If you recall, we have Wednesdays off of trial testimony, I believe, so Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. It is going to be trial season, my friends. And so we're going to be here continuing to cover it. Thank you so much for subscribing and joining us as we do. Thanks for liking this video. Thanks for inviting a friend or family member to come over and join us. We got a lot to unpack as the trial unfolds, and now we've got our bearings straight. We got some slides. We have an understanding of who is who and how this is all working. And so we'll assemble it together, journey through it together. The first prosecution of a president in our history, maybe will be the only one in our lifetimes, because there's a lot that could happen as a result of this. But thank you for joining us, my friends. Don't forget to check out some of the links down in the description below. We have our sovereignty and our self-development community at watchourlodge.com. We do Sovereignty Saturdays on Saturday. Click on over in the link to watchourlodge.com. Become registered and join us all free. It's going to be a lot of fun. We also have our members-only community at watchingthewatchers.locals.com, where you can become a member, get access to our streams that we do every morning, our Saturday shows.
Slowing down.
And also, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to grab a shirt. We have a new shopping tab. So we got some Travis Matthew polo shirts in there. Join the polo revolution. Save America. Look good doing it together. We'll see you back on Locals at watchingthewatchers.locals.com and back here on the next one. All right, my friends, we're not done yet. Don't go anywhere. We've got another segment to attend to. And then we're going to jump into your comments. Thank you so much for your amazing super chats. Thank you for those, my friends. Let's get into it on this segment. Democrats are shifting the narrative. They're going from hush money trial now to election interference trial. Isn't that interesting? It's because the first stopped mattering to people a long time ago because it involves liars, perjurers, and a corrupt prosecutor who are trying to go after Biden's political opponents through people like Matthew Colangelo and others. But the shift is now happening in the court of public opinion as well. This is Lanny Davis. You know him. He's a major TDS attorney, someone who has been involved in Democrat politics for a long time, even advising Michael Cohen in some instances. And here's what he said.
How's this guy
No
doing?
longer about hush money, and if people are making fun of this case, you got to correct the record with them, okay? This is what the lefties are being told and being taught from their MSNBC overlords. Get in their faces and tell them that this is truthfully about election interference.
Well, let me quote Donald Trump's Justice Department's prosecutors in public when they made the charge that Donald Trump, and they wrote this, directed Michael Cohen to pay this money to Ms. Daniels. They said this case is about the impairment of democracy by allowing wealthy people such as Mr. Trump to buy silence a few days before the election to prevent the American people from gaining information they need. They describe this case as about democracy. That's the Federal District of New York, Southern District of New York prosecutors in a public document.
Well, why did they prosecute Trump then, Lanny? They could have charged him. They didn't. How come? Why didn't you ask Jeffrey Berman about that? How come Joe Biden's DOJ didn't reinstitute this and charge him? Very curious, Lanny, because it's not about that at all.
Hiding in plain sight. So every time someone describes this in a disparaging way as about sex or something else, quote Donald Trump's prosecutors describing this case as seriously about the undermining of democracy.
Okay, so he's like, please talk about it in a way that will matter more than intercourse with some storming, okay? And Michael Cohen, like the worst people in the world. Make it mean something. People don't think this means anything. People think this is meaningless. So make it up. They're aggravated out there. Get in their faces, to use that representative's language. So let's see what some other attorneys, judges, and other commentators have to say about this. You know Jonathan Turley does great work on X and everywhere else. Here's what he said about notoriously in this case.
Well, they're not very moves. The first one being that you have to destroy Michael Cohen's credibility, but there's not much there to destroy. I mean, this is the ultimate bottom feeder witness, where the question is whether the jury's going to recoil. False statements, conflicts. He pleaded guilty under oath, and then later said that he wasn't telling the truth. To the astonishment of many of us, he was never prosecuted for that perjury by the Justice Department, and then as a witness for a prosecution. This is just a very strange universe that involves a fairly standard motion that occurs when you believe that the jury may not agree that the big ticket item of a charge, the felonies, is proven. And you want the court to give an instruction saying you can always convict on lesser included offenses, in this case a misdemeanor. Now sometimes the defense doesn't want to do that. Sometimes they just want to leave the jury with the cliff option, thinking that they don't want to go over the cliff, so they'll go ahead and acquit. many times this works in favor of the defense. For Trump, there could be personal resistance to even suggesting a possible misdemeanor conviction. Very significant advantage for him.
A couple of things. Lonnie Davis, the attorney for Michael Cohen, I don't know how he's paid him, says there's more than just Michael Cohen to testify against Trump. Do you know of anything about this?
Well, I've been critical of this case since it was filed. This is the weaponization of the criminal justice system.
That's right.
This is a bizarre case, and in fact, that second strategy makes sense because this was always a misdemeanor under state law, but the statute of limitations had run. So what they did here is they bootstrapped a federal crime, and they're going to prosecute it essentially in state court. And now this is a crime that the Department of Justice rejected. They didn't believe that there could be a basis for charging under the federal election laws, at least not a credible one.
Yeah, but the way they're getting around that is what Sean is saying. It's not that they had to prosecute it or that there needs to be evidence that he committed or is guilty of the crime. It's just that he had the intent to commit the crime. And you go, what? So you can read it. So you have to have intent to commit a crime in the first place. But they're saying you have intent to commit the crime and you did the action to commit the crime. And as part of the elements, one of those elements is that you intended to commit another crime. But what's the evidence of that other crime? Well, it's pretty broad. It's kind of whatever we say it is. Okay, so that's for Sean. And he gave us 4 different theories, right? And they were federal election crimes. So they said Trump violated federal election crimes, even though the SDNY looked at it and they said he didn't, or at least they didn't prosecute him. The other one was a tax crime locally in New York, that there was a violation for grossing up Michael Cohen's pay. And then there was one other one, 3 essential philosophies that we talked about in our review. So this is Jonathan Turley wrapping up.
So you have this really odd effort in order to sort of take a federal offense, rejuvenate a misdemeanor, and then convict him for a felony. And it's just, in my view, raw political manipulation of the criminal justice system.
Yeah, he's right. And the third element, the third opportunity to say that there was a felony that he
Welcome
could
back.
have committed. So again, it's Trump falsified a business record with the intent to conceal the commission of another crime. So intent to commit or to commit another crime. And they were also saying that Trump was violating the law, which is falsifying evidence, false information, false campaigning on behalf of the candidate. So that's Jonathan Turley. I think good analysis, and he's right. It's bizarre. The whole situation is what's going on. Okay. And this is Judge Andrew Napolitano also weighing in. What's coming up in New York?
Cameras in the courtroom. Has this been a positive for overall trials? That is a great question. Not in this case, where Judge Ito was running for election, pandered to the cameras almost
Talking about
continuously towards the courtroom.
Trump, this starts Monday. This hush money trial is going to begin. If there are cameras allowed in the courtroom, if the judge rules that, is that good for Donald Trump to have those cameras there?
Well, the former president is a master at taking misfortune and turning it into his political benefit. So if he is berated by the judge, for example, seeing that on camera, Donald Trump will be able to take that clip and use it in a
That's why they don't want to put the cameras.
seeking the presidency. But overall, I can't say if it'll be good or bad for him. In one respect, he's got to behave himself in a procedure that is essentially boring. This is not a trial like you see on television or in the movies. 90% of it is boring. He has to sit there. He has to be there 100% of the time. 4 days a week. They're going to take Wednesdays off. That day may float, but they're going to sit for 4 days a week.
Here is Craig Jarrett, our final commentator on this conversation, talking about the trial.
Just do this. Look at this trial. See the 76-year-old CFO of Trump Organization back in Rikers, while illegal immigrants shoplift and ransack stores, beat up cops. No one gets charged for crimes. There seems to be, Donald, are they going to drink?
But polls show it's backfiring. Only
trial mode, and I hope you join us as we do. Thanks for being here, my friends. It's a beautiful Friday. Thanks for subscribing and liking this video wherever it is you're watching it. We've got a great members-only community. We do live streams in the mornings, every weekday, and on Saturdays. Love to have you come and join us, watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We do after parties there. An amazing community. And we get into some other things that we can't squeeze into here on the show. So come and join us, watchingthewatchers.locals.com. See you there and back here on the next one. All right, my friends. Well, that is it for us on the day. We covered some good ground. Of course, we got Dems screaming about election interference as they are literally interfering with the election. It's no fun. And we're now up to speed. Trial prep. Stormy and Cohen exposed. We know who they are. We know what their background is. And it's a trial starting on Monday. So, now, my friends, let's hear from you. Of course, we are going over to locals as soon as we're done here for our members-only after party. But first, it is time to see what you guys have to say about this. And thank you so much, my friends, for the amazing donations and super chats. This one came in from Blocky in the house. What's up, Blocky? Blocky says, correct me if I'm wrong, but admitting you don't have evidence of a crime usually means you can't try someone. And concealing documents and removing documents is considered tampering with evidence and usually results in you being charged for a crime. Julie Kelly dropped some bombshells from the hearings in Florida. Man, sounds good. We're going to have to catch up with Julie Kelly. Make sure you're following Julie Kelly at Julie_Kelly2 on X for the latest over there. Chubby Stubby, 9 months, Chubby! That's a baby in the house. Woo! Our newest baby, watching the Watchers. Looking nice and healthy and strong. Good to see you, Chubby. Thanks for being here. Glocky's here. Hey, does someone else remember the media screeching about how Trump's donors were paying his legal bills and how he's a con man? It's funny how they don't mention that the Democrats are paying Joe Biden's bills. The ANC paid $1.5 million for Joe Biden's classified docs. Isn't that funny? Everything they accuse the other side of doing. Blocky says, Joe tried getting his appeal electronically filed. A typical New York City has a clause in their filing that he has to serve the assistant AG immediately. So he's dropping the paperwork off first thing on Monday. Perfect. Keep on keeping on. Thanks for the update, Blocky. Shout out to our friend Joe. We got this one. Blocky says, honestly, he should just go for it. Could you imagine? Trump comes out. He has the beard and the bald. He's like, it's go time, baby. Make America great again. Hey, here's one from Blocky. Looks like it's Mean Friday. It says, Senator for 36 years, Vice President for 8 years, blames Trump for America's problems. I know, it's funny, they all do that. I don't believe Trump has done this. We've been in office for 100 years. What are you talking about? Blocky says, Babylon B is reporting unhinged Trump threatens more violence by promising to trigger a landslide on election day, which is a violent thing to say. It's very dangerous rhetoric. What's he saying? He wants you to be buried under dirt so you suffocate and die, just like Hitler. Yeah. Good stuff on that. It's a landslide. All right, here's one from Glocky. You know how this goes. Driving down the road, you're like gonna go get some lunch or something. You drive down. Hey, how's this restaurant going? It's good. Oh, look, there's Trump. She says, I hate Trump. And then there's a solution to the problem. Trump hops in. Go to Mar-a-Lago to save America. Adios! We got this one from Lucky. We're gonna get Trump this time. Here's this person with a couple. This is a good caricature of what we're talking about. Oh my gosh! We're gonna get Trump this time. Hey, wow! Look at you, just hanging in there. Hey, all right, good for you. Good for you. You're still around. Wow. Good for you. Nice. Still kicking. That's great. Here's one from Blocky. Another
Claiborne.
Ah.
Someone.
Here's one from Lucky. Here's one. I told a liberal that I identify as Trump gender, okay? They got so offended that they actually told me, you're wrong, there are two genders. No, I'm a Trump, I identify as Trump. They say you can't do that, there's only men and female, okay? Get used to it. Hey, Fred is here, says, Fred Pedamonte was doing some research. I accidentally found Karen and Google's Playboy pics. Exploit for research, I'm sure you're doing research. Getting prepared for the trial prep. Lucky says, here's one. Hey, here's the left screaming, Trump colluded with Russia. Hillary, that was me. Trump kept kids in cages. Obama, that was me. Trump obstructed an active investigation. Pelosi and Schumer say that was us. And Trump had a quid pro quo in Ukraine. Joe says that was me. Here's one. Another one from Lucky. Just firing it off on locals. This is why you gotta come to our local governments. Here's Joe the Pirate. Says, this is the day you'll always remember as the day, oh, it's Trump. I couldn't see what it was. This is the day you'll always remember as the day you almost caught President Trump. That was on at the gym today. That is really good. That show, that movie was on at the gym. This is from Glocky. Says, why was it a crime for Nixon to wiretap at Watergate, but okay for Obama to wiretap Republicans at Trump Tower? Great question. Another one from Glocky says, when this picture was taken, Obama knew the plan to frame Trump was active. Here's one from Glocky. If Trump was Speaker of the House, this is what it would look like. That'd be kind of fun. Hey, and thank you, Glocky, for the Meme-tastic Friday. Just amazing. And that's over on Locals, my man, my friends. That's over on Locals. Come join us. Thank you, Glocky. I'm like laughing at that too. From that cartoon. Red one says, turn 40 today. Hey, 40 is the new 30, man. That's what I'm telling myself. I don't feel old yet from Red one. I know, I'm 38, man. I'm getting up there. We're going to be the same age soon. I'm catching up to you. Good to see you, Red one. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a long day, I agree.
Hold My Halo. Gifted a membo. One new membo coming in from Hold My Halo, going to the Real Hydro. Yes, in the house. Locky will destroy J6 committees, big lie. That's from the Gateway Pundit. Cowboy Rob says, my question to you as a lawyer, and they'll say, yeah. And by like they're not gonna go in there and say like, it's just how it is, it's just how it works. They say we can convict you of all of these crimes, but we need you to testify. But if you agree to this factual basis, we'll give you this deal. Do you want it, yes or no? And they can charge you. It's like, it's just part of the, if they can prove those claims and you committed those crimes and you think that they have the evidence, it's the nature of the law, man. It's like, it's wild, but it's just how it is. Here's one from Milo Phone Bill. Thank you, Milo Phone Bill, for sending two of these in. It says, a lie in time saves 9. Talking about maybe the Supreme Court switching to save the 9. Interesting comment from Milo. Hey, it's the Munkets is gifting one membo. Will 2023 is coming in, courtesy of Tony Hay. Hey, what's up? Knox is here. Oh, man. Hey, Knox is here. She's a defense attorney in the great state of Texas. Says TGIF all. A long, horrible week for your girl here. Sorry to hear that noise. Says one judge made me so angry I donated to his opponent. And I'm not even registered to vote here. Arizona landowners vote in Arizona. Whoa, Knox, what judge was that? I'm curious about. Maybe we'll leave that off the screen, but we can talk about that in private. But interesting, horrible week. Sorry that the judge did that. Hopefully he loses his election. Tree Climber sharing this one from Dark Insider. Tree Climber is bringing in a new membo, and Red One is bringing in new membos as well. And Red One is celebrating a birthday and bringing in new membos, 40th birthday celebration. Thank you, Red One. Bringing in Designed Audio, LNT. We got Myra Page. We got the Caribbeans here. Mr. P. We got Brad T. Melody. James H. Michelle B. PK. And what's up, Rich and Don? We got new members coming in courtesy of Red One. Happy birthday to Red One. New members who celebrate Red One in the house. Radicy is over on Local. Says, I'm sure you meant to say that Stormy wasn't charged because of her dancing. We might have to get Mama G to look over your scripts. Oh, I don't know what I was going to say. I don't think we want Mama G watching the Stormy segments, you know. It's not appropriate for moms out there. Angel says, I would love to see the video of Stormy and the officers at the strip club. Surely somebody videoed the cops being attacked by her swinging breasts. Stormy Daniels, motorboating everybody. Those cops. Help, I'm under attack. There's a crime in progress. Stop. Rocky Water says, Rob, I kind of dig on the PowerPoint format, if I may call it. A little Ziegler-esque, no? You mean like Garrett, the purveyor of this? I don't know that holds a candle. I don't know that my little dinky PowerPoints even holds anything to that. But it seems a good, efficient format. Says, keep spreading that word and shining that light, brother. Yeah, Rocky, the reason we're kind of shifting to PowerPoints, it's really, I think, only for the trial. The mind maps are great, so the reason why you're seeing a little bit of a different format is because the mind maps, they're a little bit, like, it's hard. It's a little bit, slides I think are a little bit more modular, so I can keep adding to a slide, right? A slide, I guess slides are a lot more linear, but I can keep adding to them in a way that I can't really do the mind map and kind of organize my thoughts in a way. So I want we're gonna have 6 weeks of trial, and I don't want 6 different weeks of mind maps. I'd rather just keep all the Cohen stuff on one section, the Stormy stuff on one section, and so we'll just keep filling it out as it expands. So that's the reason for the shift. And then as soon as that, like when we go through the show during the week, a lot of it's just kind of, we don't need to aggregate it. Bundle it. I can bundle in PowerPoint, which is a little harder to do on the mind map. But yes, it is a little Ziegler-esque. I will say that I am inspired by Ziegler, sure, no doubt about that. I think, he'd probably laugh at my attempt at this, but maybe we'll talk to him about it, see what he says. Hey, Knox is here. Rob, we need to trial prep. I get a little nervous there. Prayers for the defense team. Tell me about it. Yeah, I've also got, so I've got this slide deck that I have, Knox. It's like hundreds of slides. I don't know how many it is. They're not done yet, but it's kind of the thoughts. And we're going to keep building out the defenses and organizing the defenses. And then hopefully we'll have a nice set of closing arguments as well, right? So all the closing arguments we are able to extract from this, we'll assemble our slide deck and then have closing arguments. And the theory is we want this to be shareable. So how do we bundle this so many people can see it so that if Trump is convicted, we can have the best arguments that are consolidated to show that this was just a railroad job. NY says, election interference. So when they stop the story on Hunter Biden's laptop, that's not interference. The Dems are professional liars. No one believes them, except their demented followers. Just Rhonda, what's up, Just Rhonda? Super generous. Thanks for bringing in 10 new members. We got Zombies here. We got Anonymous is here. Philip H. Ty BB. Renown Outcast. Laserman is here. That's Douglas W. Not Gullible. We got W. McMaster, Golden Gaming, and Will W. All in the house. Gifted members, courtesy of our member. Adjust. Thank you, Just Rhonda. Great to have you. Michael Allen Hughes says, what if Trump pleads no contest? Could he appeal? No contest is basically guilty, and it's not anything else. It's maybe Trump pleading guilty, so he's not going to do that. And you can't appeal something when you plead guilty because you're chest mountains. I know, those poor officers are so upset with themselves. Hey, honey, how was your day? Oh, it was good. Just out there protecting and serving our family. You know? Yeah, really? Dodging bullets. Okay. We got this one from NY says, speaking of legal bills, who's paying Lanny Davis's bill? A lot of these guys, I think, are just working kind of pro bono for free. As long as it's anti-Trump, that's enough payment for them. Cowboy Rob says, dude, these Democrats and liberals forget that half of our military and half our police force are U.S. Republicans and people that may disagree with your plot to take over the country. Yeah, I think the Democrats forget a lot about that. About the people who actually produce things in this way. Like Tish. Like, if you had 1,000 Tishes in a city or 1,000 Trumps, who would get something built and functional? Which one? Like, clearly. Which person? And if that's just, you just magnify that times, you know, it's a broad generalization, but I think that one side of America is learning how to build things, like literally, right, in the services, in the trades, in industries that actually produce real world benefits. Others are talking about pronouns and gender ideology. So that's not really an applicable skill, which is why they have to create these institutions for them to serve, and then they grift off the other institutions to fund the existence of themselves. So when things stop working for them, like, who do they turn to? They've got to turn to people who actually produce stuff. NY is in the house. Says, NY, how does the NY Renal on locals says, how does any Biden campaign message get through the attention-grabbing nature of prosecuting Trump? Do they not see it backfiring? I think they think there's nothing else to talk about, really. They have no other options. What are they going to talk about? Their record? This is their campaign. Hey, Jennifer says, just wanted Nick Glocky to know the YouTube chat was rolling at those memes. Those were fire memes today, Glocky. Those were like major contributions. Thank you, Glocky. I'm laughing. It's like hilarious. I was crying, man. I had tears in my eyes. Hey, Grant. What's up, Grant? Smash the like button, baby. Thank you, Grant, for saying that. And reminding everybody that just get a little click right there. Crazy. Blackheart, what's up, Blackheart? Says, out of curiosity, how is releasing a documentary around the same time as the trial and involving the same topic as the trial not jury tampering? Well, it's because Trump didn't do it. You know, nobody is going to be influenced by Stormy, but they're all going to be influenced by Trump. And they just say Trump's got a big megaphone, he's a millionaire, whatever. But it's clearly orchestrated, coordinated. They colluded to get that done, to time it perfectly. Trump can't even see what went into it. That's how corrupt it is. Thank you, Blackheart. Nice donut. Good to see you today. Hey, Knox is here. Says, I love the group defense pool. I always think of great things when I, quote, just observing. It would be awesome if we could outline and forward it to the defense team. Yeah, you know, I've thought about that, Knox. I don't know if they're, you know, would they be receptive to that, do you think? It's like we were offering suggestions during the Chauvin trial, and I think some of those made it into the trial, so now that I think about it, so maybe they are watching. But, you know, when you're in trial, you're kind of in the fog of war, you know, it's like hard to see outside of your bubble. So I'm wondering if they're receptive to that. But it's a great idea, Knox. I mean, if you've got ideas, I'm game for it. So that's the point. Like, that's the point of assembling these slides. So, like, Knox, if you're like, hey, dummy, you should have a slide that says this. Oh, great, let's add that. Because we're going to be curating and revising these slides over the next 6 weeks. Which is why I wanted them there. And I also want them to be very accessible. So that, you know, if I share them, other people can share them with people. Or if I go speak on someone else's channel, right? We can reference the slides. We have it all chronicled. We have our sources, cite your sources, all the things. So it's, you know, it's a little bit more accessible. So beef that up. Thank you, Max. NY says, question. If Trump is being tried in state court for a federal crime, can he grant himself an appeal later? So I don't think that's like actually happening. So he's being tried in state court on a state crime that is they say it's a felony because he intended to commit a federal crime or he intended to commit another crime in New York. So a state court wouldn't have jurisdiction over a federal crime. So but he could appeal the state conviction. That would be appealable. B-Man's in the house, says, I thought the judge said that President, glad to be in this community. You are number one. Thank you. Well, Rudd, I think that about you, my friend. So thanks for being a member, man, for 1 month. Great to have you here. Community is all of us, and we're grateful that you're a part of it. And Knox says, I think if we keep it brief and maybe get someone's ear, I know they're fabulous, but we all forget during the fog of war. Slides would be a great way. Yeah, and that's also why I'm doing the slides for this, is to make it a little bit more accessible. Like, I know the mind map is cool, I mean, I think it's cool, but it is a little bit harder to access. Slides are just, you can just print them out. Like, you can't really print out a mind map, you know. It's all organic. So slides you can just print out and share, email, all the things. So I wanted to bundle up, make it a little bit more accessible, and even make it like closing arguments. Close, boom, 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 just like we might do in a trial, Knox. That's kind of the theory. So we'll continue to, I just started working on them like 3 days ago in seriousness. So there's still a lot of work to do, a bunch of slides that are still in my brain
Midwest.
that I haven't had time to fill out yet. So we'll see. Thank you, Knox, defense attorney in Texas. Good stuff cooking. And I think it is important to crowdsource this stuff. I think that it matters. And I think there was some, some benefit to that during Chauvin and other trials that we've covered here. Let's see who is in the house on the day. And Law of Attraction says, as a lawyer, you support a lot of illegal acts, which I totally disagree with. I don't think I've ever endorsed anybody breaking the law. So I don't know what that's about. V is Never Silent says, happy Friday, watchers. Good to see you. V is Never Silent. We got this one from Azok. What's up, Azok? Fred says, you'll never be the same age as Red One. I'm catching up. As soon as I turn 39, I'll be catching up. He'll always be 2 years older than you. Fred, why do you have to be so negative? Don't be a naysayer. I am catching up. Raven says, like helicopters. Blah, ha, ha, ha. Like helicopter. Oh, that was the Stormy Daniels conversation. Yeah. This woman, what kind of movie is this? Sarah Gibson, pass. We got Feline Fun says, I'm praying and holding out hope that somehow 2 or 3 strong, honest Republicans get on the jury. Or just honest people would be nice. They don't even have to be Republicans, just honest. And have the fortitude to stand during the deliberations. We had this one from Azok, said, strange, if I had not found your channel and others during the trucker convoy, I would probably believe that Trump is guilty and deserved what he got. Thanks for opening my eyes. Now check the stories myself and don't believe the mainstream media. Cheers for the red pill. That's a great comment. Thanks for saying that one. Yeah, that's a great comment. James says, that's like what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help people see the truth. And we're glad, Azok, thanks for being willing to say that. A lot of people wouldn't be willing to even say that. James says, all cases in New York under Tishy.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Thrown out in New York because they've probably proven they can fix a trial. Everything
I haven't seen you on the road.
Civil will have to be retried, or just
bad areas, huh?
Due to the corruption from James Pepper. Good comments over there on X, my friends. And if you want to follow us over on X, the address is at Rob Govea, ESQ. You can come join us over there. Would love to see you. And it's a great way to follow other fellow watchers out there in the wilderness on the X platform. We had this one from B-Man, says they are already biasing the jury. They're asking questions about QAnon and the Proud Boys garbage. Yeah, if you missed that, we covered the judge's jury instructions, the questions to the jury. And so that was earlier this week. And Woodchip Bill says, Rob, if you know and know, don't try, then you'll never know. If you know, and you don't try, then you'll never know. Woodchip Bill. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes and how this all starts to unfold. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So we're gonna be here, my friends. Thank you so much for sending those donos in, and we're very grateful for all of your support. we are going to wrap up. Go over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com for our members only after party and debrief. And of course, we'll be back in the morning for our members for our Saturday stream. And then, as soon as we're done on Saturday, we're going to watcherlodge.com. And so click on over, come and join us. Go to watcherlodge.com. We got a bunch of news stories we're dropping there every day. So like those, comment on those if you want to see what's cooking. They're my seedlings. So go watch the videos if you want to see what we're waiting for, something to burst through any day. And we also have on the community calendar our Saturday sovereignty event. So sign up, add those to your calendar, and we'll be excited to see you over there for our Saturday sovereignty streams. We also have robertgovea.com, PDF, newsletter, show calendar. We got our reports there, merch store, all there. Come check it out, robertgovea.com. But that, my friends, is it for us on the day. Before we wrap it up, I want to thank the mods and the meme smiths and those clipping away for us. We got John McGarvey, Donut Mind Meme. We thank Economy Pilot, Dog Digger, Janek, Zach Nichols, Ronnie Cole, Playing Hooky, Just Cause, and K Beans always clipping for us in the mornings. Shout out to our mods and our meme smiths, Sleepy Dog Lean, Nathan and A10, and Jigan Vegan, for making this place nice and beautiful. But that, my friends, is it for us on the day. We are going to leave it there and head on over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com. We'd love to see you come and join us. But
Headlights fixed. Good shit. Oh, that's what you were dealing with today. That's right. I forgot about that. Forgot about all that business. Okay, where you at?
back and forth on this. Here's a fact check. She says the letter was a lie. Some people say it's proof that it's true. So it's fact check. So Cooper says, you signed the release of statement. That's a lie? So your statement was a lie? Yes. If it was untruthful, why'd you sign it? Because they made it sound like I had no choice. Well, no one was putting a gun to your head. Well, not physical violence now. You thought that there would be some sort of legal repercussion if you didn't sign it? Yeah. As a matter of fact, the exact sentence used was, they can make your life hell in many different ways. They? Who? I'm not exactly sure who they were. I believe it to be Michael Cohen. Okay, whatever. All right, so that's another good link too, and I'll drop that one in there too. Stormy Daniels excerpt. Throw that in there. Thank you for both those hot moments. Here's another one. Times of San Diego. Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels deny the report of them having an affair. Let's have that one too. Yeah, right. All their podcasts. Yeah, there's that one. We got that one from Stormy. Thank you for that one, snickering. It says, didn't Cohen get in big trouble for the taxi medallions that he had that he wasn't supposed to have? Yeah, he did. Cohen's a shyster, but he's been all over the place. So lots of different problems. Rai T says, your impression of the cops having the law broken on their faces is the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. Watermelons. Watermelons, watermelons. Funny, right? You can totally visualize it, right? That's exactly
Sun
what was
finally
happening.
breaks through as I'm getting home.
No! Stop, criminal.
Right in my
no.
face as I'm heading home.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Spuds, give me a break. Judd Apatow's a well-known Trump hater and a leftist, even before Trump ran, is he? Even before Trump ran. Well, why would he be mad at him then? Hey, what's up? Marco Polo sending a shout out. Yeah, what's up, Marco Polo, man? Oh yeah, I saw that they gave us a retweet. I need to do something about that, yeah. What's up, R. Hirsch? Hey, what's up? Hey, JC's here. Says, you really went all out with the innuendo today. Once my innuendo meter hit full tilt to the top, I felt I was compelled to acknowledge and praise your efforts today. Says, the other day my comment expressed a very mild and slight disappointment that you missed the opportunity for some easy innuendo. I remember it, yeah. You totally redeemed yourself today and then some. Phenomenal work by adding several habaneros to today's main dish. Today's meal gets 6 out of 5 stars for me. Wow, that's great. Compliments to the chef. You clearly put in a lot of work to provide us the very best presentation with all the background and everything else I had not previously heard. Thanks for saying that, JC. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, like, you know, watching The Watchers wasn't even really born until March 2020, right? Like, so we came to this late. Like, we missed all of that, technically. I mean, we've talked about it in incidental fashion, but we've missed a lot of that. So even when I was going through it, I was like, oh, that really? I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. So I learned a lot too, and to be honest,
my wife's waiting for me at home to go to dinner.
Help me understand what the hell's going on in this case too. Like, I see the filings, but I got a very clear understanding of all the mechanics now, having done all of that. Right. You know, so it's part
7 minutes from home.
And again, I think it's going to be very useful as a...
See how much water still is? It was raining when I left, though, so I imagine there's still quite a bit of water in the front yard.
Here it is. Here's who this person is. Here's what she looks like. Here's her background.
I'm embarrassed with the backyard with all the fucking dog holes.
It's like, just, hey, boom, we got our index.
Planning on working on it this weekend, but I don't know.
And I'm hopeful it's interesting. I mean, hopefully it's not...
Is it the moon on the right? I can't tell.
I think it'll be interesting.
Can't tell,
Never
so
Silent
bright.
Says, how rich? They are stating Trump's election interference
All I
was
see
going
is
on
clouds.
at the same time they were sitting on the laptop. It's insanity. Yeah, everything else they do
is
everything they claim the other side is doing, they do. Woodchip says UFOs in Iraqi, and this is a Telegram link, so Telegram links. We're streaming to Telegram, so those open poorly when we're using it, Woodchip. You have a different link, I'll take a look. What's up, John? Hey, yeah, speaking of Ziegler, yeah, there's that link. I saw that they posted something, and I just got to get in there and retweet it. And Rai T says, if Trump gets convicted of a felony, does that actually do anything other than give them a talking point? So, that's the big thing that it does. The big thing that it does is that, now, if he's a convicted felon, I mean, I don't think he can vote for himself. So he can't vote. He can't possess a firearm if he is a convicted felon. I mean, if they apply all the regular rules to him, you lose your right to vote, you lose your right to, firearm possession. Those are the big ones. If he's applying, for an apartment or something.
You don't always lose. I mean, once your
jobs, he's going to have to be disclosing that stuff.
Sentence is over with, you can vote.
That's mainly it. And then it would be a major talking point. Now, I did have concern originally.
My eyes are
that there would
spotty
be
now. That sun was so bright.
Some ramification, like if
Hey, Bobby,
on the
we're almost
J6
home.
case, for example.
Yes, we're almost. You want to see Mama's?
J6 case. I thought that there might be some argument that they would try to
Look at
disqualify
that line of
him
clouds up
14th
ahead.
by saying,
Almost looks like a mountain.
He was convicted of something related to an insurrection, and so that conviction can parlay into removal. But I don't think the Supreme Court will allow that, because they've already said that Congress can implement the Okay, dumb shit, you do that. Hell wrong with him. Dumb people everywhere. Oh, look, this is a street. This is a road.
For sure, Dirty, I will. Water over there. Okay. No, I'm not gonna tell her that. I may catch the second game tonight, though. You guys are already playing. Here, take a look at this. Well, let me see how bad the water is.
Delphin's on the phone.
Yeah, it's still pretty bad in the front yard there.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Yeah, who are ya?
Yeah, look at all that water.
Huh? What's that? Huh? What law is that? What law is that? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You own the street. You own the street. They own the street. Down with why don't they have private property signs up there? Yeah, it's a through street, bro. How you doing?
All right, guys. Thanks for riding with me. I got to get inside. The wife's been waiting.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Gilster Mary Lane, that's from back home. That's from back home.
Might see you guys later. If you guys are still playing when I get off or get done. Peace.